And
Certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. This is going to be a fun one today. We're talking about Melissa McCarthy movies, and I've got a bunch of great people here with me. Over to my left, we've got Anthony. Anthony, how's it going?
It's going all right. This is a midday thing, so this is kind of nice. It's a little different. It's not late night, but there's a lot of Melissa McCarthy movies I really, really enjoy. So I was kind of hoping to be on this one, including one especially, which is by far my favorite. So stay tuned.
And also I've got one of my favorite people around. I got Tony. Tony, how's it going?
I thought you were going to bring a third person in then for a sec. Hi, yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me. And he's one of my favorite people, and Christina just gets pulled in, just like, yeah, that makes sense.
There, that's the one.
I did invite Christina on, but she's filming digesting cinnamon. She told me so.
Good to know.
Well, at least that's what she told me. So
That was the plan. Now she's napping now. It's been a long day, so she's taking a nap.
I mean, I was hoping there was going to be a way to get a plug for Christina in there, but never mind. But anyway, we get to about Melissa McCarthy movies. How this works, we're going to go round in a circle, and each nominate a Melissa McCarthy movie we think belongs on the top 12 list. This is probably not going to be a long one. There really is. She's got enough, but it's one of those ones that she's got a really small filmography as well. But some interesting ones I never knew about until I was looking down this. But and the only rule I have now is like if people haven't seen a movie, it's going to come down to the people who have seen it. If the exception of if only one person, if one person has seen it and the other two hasn't, because we're not letting it one person getting one on the list just because they're the only one that has seen it. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue here. But Anthony, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
Okay. Normally when I'm on these, I like picking the random one that maybe no one's going to think of, but I can't do that here because I really want to say this one because this is my favorite. Me and Christina saw this in theaters. I was a little sick at the time, and there was one moment in this movie where I almost died because I was laughing so hard I could not stop coughing, and that is when they are on the plane in Spy. When she switched genre, when she was like, oh yeah, the subtle, like really nice, and then she just turned the corner and just started going off on Rose Byrne's character, I lost it. She did the whole, oh, if that was my mom, that creature, and just goes nuts. That whole movie is hilarious. Jason Statham, I don't know where he came from, but that was
England.
He was fantastic.
He came from England.
What?
He came from England.
Okay.
Well, famous English person.
He still, the comedy element he had was a little different than the ones he had in like Snatch and stuff like that. He was great. All the characters, all the actors in this movie were fantastic, and this one is one of my favorites from her. So I had to put Spy on the list.
Tony, what do you say about Spy?
Yeah, this was one in my top three. I think not only is Melissa McCarthy great in it, it's like, as you said, Jason Statham is like, that's like his like, holy shit, where have you been hiding this talent?
Yes.
For just like being able, like, you just want a Spy franchise now of just like watching him be hapless. Like Jude Law has a really fantastic role in it. It's like you've not really seen much of Jude recently, and also Miranda Hart, who's a famous British comedian. She's like one of the biggest of the 21st century TV shows, so that jazz called Miranda. It's like her appearing in there, just like, oh yeah, you're actually really funny in cinema. Like, I don't know why you haven't been picked up a bit more.
Yeah, and this would have been an easy. So I actually rewatched this for this because I hadn't seen it since it came out, and this is really enjoyable. It's just one of those ones that when I first came out, I didn't know what to expect because like her previous outings before this, I had mixed feelings about, but this is enjoyable. This is on the list. So. Tony, what is the first one you're going to bring up?
Okay, I'm gonna stick with Paul Feig film, and I'm gonna go for one of the earlier collaborations. I think this one is the prototypical, the one that you think of when you think of Melissa McCarthy, to the point where she was Oscar nominated for it. I'm going Bridesmaids. It's one of the best written comedies of the 21st century. All the performances are great. Melissa's literally steals the scene every time she appears in it. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, this is an easy yes. I really love Bridesmaids. There's really not much more I can say about it, to be honest, because it's so funny and like I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. Anthony,
I mean, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. It's really good. I mean, every single person in this is excellent, and just the whole puppy thing was like I was dying. One, I want 9 puppies to begin with, so I was jealous, and then the whole thing. She's in the car with all the dogs. Like Tony said, she steals every single moment that she is on screen in this movie, and yeah, I mean, this was the chalk pick from Melissa McCarthy. If you don't have this on this list, I don't know what we're doing. We're being way too pretentious.
Also, I was going to say it's also the only. I think it's the only film for the 21st century that was that's been Oscar nominated, written by 2 women.
Huh.
Like I think this is like only been 4 other films that have been written by any woman anyway, and it's like this is the only one that has like 2 credited.
No,
yeah.
interesting knowledge.
But for my first one, I'm going for another one. I think she was also Oscar nominated for this, but I'm going to go for one of her weird dramatic works. This is her recent one of her recent ones. It's Can You Ever Forgive Me? This is one of those ones that I didn't see when it came out because I just missed it. I just actually watched it for the first time in preparation for this, and this is just so. She does drama well. It's one of those ones that she's one of these actresses that I know so much for comedy. I didn't know how she would translate into drama if she had to go there. She does drama really well in this. I'm pretty sure she was Oscar nominated for this role. But yeah, Can You Ever Forgive Me? Anthony, what do you say?
This is like the one Melissa McCarthy one I haven't gotten to yet. But even though I haven't seen it, this I feel like is one that absolutely just does need to be put on the list. Because if you're going to have a Melissa McCarthy movie, she was nominated for this in a dramatic role, which should be telling you a lot about her acting chops. It is something that is on my list to see, but I've been busy with doing some weird challenge that someone has recently, so I've been having to deal with that. So I haven't gotten to it yet, but at some point, I feel like it'll come up, and I'm gonna want to see this because I like her and I want to see a more dramatic role with her.
I mean, you could do this for Directed for Women. Tony.
I've not seen this either. I've been meaning to see it as well. I've heard nothing but great things about it, but I just haven't picked it up. It's directed by Mary Heller, who did It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. She's in Queen's Gambit. She's fantastic as an actress and a director. So I'm just like, it's just been one of those ones where I'm just like, do I really want to see Melissa McCarthy in a serious role, or do I just want to watch her be funny and fat? Which one do I want to do?
So Anthony, just to make sure, did you say yes even though you hadn't seen it?
Yeah, even though I haven't seen it, I feel like just due to the simple fact she was nominated, it deserves to be on the list.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was just making sure it was like,
yeah. I had this on my list. I was going to be like, haven't seen it, but should be on there anyway. So,
yeah, it's our fault for not watching it. It's like,
that's on us.
All right, for my Anthony, what is your next one?
Do I go with one that's a little weirder, or do I go with a chalk pick? I'm going to go with one that's a little different, a little earlier than Bridesmaids. Movie I didn't know what to expect out of it at all. I just kind of read the description, saw she was in it, saw Ryan Reynolds was in it, so I was intrigued. And this is called Clint. Hello. It's called The Nines, which is a very interesting movie. It's basically 3 movies in one. And each one, both characters are different, but they also connect in every movie. It is a very kind of trippy movie, but it's a really well done movie. You get a little bit more of a serious role from Melissa McCarthy, not overly so, and Ryan Reynolds is very good in it, not a full comedy. So it's kind of a different style of movie, but I really liked it. And I think it's definitely worth a watch. Is before she got really big with Bridesmaids or any of that. So I'm gonna throw that one. Try to put that on the list.
Tony, what do you say about the Nines?
I remember watching it back in the day. I can't tell you anything about it. I remember it going, it's okay, it's good. It's like this was like just her in this weird period of time where she just finished Gilmore Girls. She was just about to do Mike and Molly, so it's like she was kind of lost in the ether and just like, yeah, this is a good watch. I remember.
Yeah. Just special, was that a yes?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I was making sure because I just haven't seen it. This is what I had it, couldn't even find anywhere. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I found it. It just popped up. I think at like Walmart or something. I was like, huh, I like these people. Let's see what it's all about.
But Tony, what is the next one you're going to bring up?
Okay, the next one for me.
I feel like I know what you want to do.
No, actually, all right. I'm gonna go for one that got panned because people were expecting it to be something it wasn't. And it's actually quite a good watch if you go into it expecting it to be dumb and fun, which is the Happy Time Murders. I think everyone expected it to be like this hysterical, like, oh, it's the Muppet Company doing R-rated films. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be that type of comedy. It's like, no, it's it's got completely different. It's like more like the Avenue Q style. And it works in a way that it really shouldn't, but it's fun. It's like obviously directed by Brian Henson. It's just like it's one of those ones where it should have gotten a bit more credit than it deserved. Than it did, I should say.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I did want to give a rewatch, but I just didn't have the time. Because when I first saw it, I really wasn't a big fan of this. So I don't know if I watched it again whether it changes for me a little bit now that I know what to expect. But it is in my personal top 10, so I'm going to say yes anyway. Anthony, what would you have said?
This one would have been like right on the edge for me because I remember watching it, and I think kind of like Tony said, I went in expecting this hilarious R-rated Muppet comedy. That's what I went in expecting, and then it turned out to be like, all right, this is definitely an R-rated, but it's not like a full comedy. Like there are some dark parts of this, and then I feel like if I go watch it again, like I still enjoyed it. There are some parts that are clearly this is way over the top and excessive attempt at comedy with puppets. But they had a lot of good parts, and I think, yeah, like if you go in expecting more of a dark comedy than a comedy, you will enjoy it. So it's already on the list. I would probably put it on the list as well for her because, it's her acting with Muppets. It always takes skill to act with something that's not really there.
As you get, if you look in the Muppets films, for example, Michael Caine does it really well. Tim Curry does not.
What?
Before Tony,
he just doesn't do it well. I'm sorry.
Before Anthony flies to UK to teach Tony a lesson, I'm going to go next. I'm going to bring up a one as well. This one was another one that was panned for different reasons, but this is one I actually do enjoy. I know a lot of people really don't like this. It's from 2016. It's about busting ghosts. It's 2016's Ghostbusters. Look, this is one I went in not knowing truly if it was going to be a full-on reboot or if it was going to be a sequel / spin-off, something like that. But I went in different open heart as like, and I enjoyed what was there, what they. While it would have been good if they didn't have like Bill Murray sort of cameo as different characters. I mean, it's good that I'm glad that they cameoed. I would have loved it to be a sequel slash spin off with them sort of passing on the reins or something. But it is what it is. But this is a fun movie. Melissa McCarthy is really good in this, and it's just a lot of fun. Anthony, what do you say about Ghostbusters 2016?
I'm with you. What's wrong with you? All right, I'm with you. I went into this really enjoying all the actresses that are in it. I especially Kate McKinnon, I think is hilarious. I was very happy to see her in it, and it's one of those movies I feel like got a lot of hate because of the people that. Hey, Ghostbusters was my childhood. Why would you reboot this with women and make it the way it was? Try to make it this campy comedy. I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was funny. It had really good moments. Did it have a few moments that probably could have been cut out and would have made it better? Yes. But overall, the girls clearly had fun with it. Chris Hemsworth was great in his role, just as the kind of ditzy guy. And
Himbo.
yeah, basically the himbo. It worked. And I enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would. So it goes on the list, and the hate for it I think was unnecessary.
Yeah. Tony, what would you have said about Ghostbusters 2016?
So, my thoughts on the Ghostbusters saga is well documented. I'm not going to say it here publicly because I've already spent most of this week getting shouted out by fans of one particular franchise. I don't want it to happen again. But with this one, it did suffer a lot because it was given a title of Ghostbusters. If it was called anything else, it would have just been accepted as what it is. It's just disposable fun. It's 2 hours. It's a good time watching it. You're not gonna be thinking of it once you're done with it. It's not gonna be like, oh, I'm like, you're not gonna really have much to discuss about it after the fact. It's just popcorn cinema at its finest. Just like you watch it, you eat it, you have fun with it, and then you dispose of it.
Agreed. No.
But Anthony, we go to you for your next nomination.
Well, Clint is now sitting on my list at the moment. Clint, move. I know you're adorable. I don't want you on camera. I get it. You're taking away my look. Go. All right. I'm gonna move. All right. I'm gonna go with a movie that it's on TV a lot, and every time it is, I will 100% leave it on for a while because I find it really funny. I find it very entertaining, and it's a movie that has Sandra Bullock in it, and The Heat to me. I always found hilarious. I really enjoyed the dichotomy of those two. They're just so different, but they're trying to solve the same thing. They great other characters in there as well. Michael Rappaport in there as the brother is hilarious. There's just so many good moments of this movie, and the simple fact that her family hates her because she straight up arrested her own brother because her brother was an ass. Like, there's so many good parts of it. It has a lot of good moments of comedy, and in the end, it turns out to be a pretty decent crime flick as well. Like, it works all around. So yeah, The Heat is one I really enjoy and I find very funny and can always be put on my TV when it's just on randomly.
Tony, what do you say about The Heat?
The Heat. I wish it was better. I really do. It's one of those ones where I just go in and just like, it was fine, and it kind of got sandwiched by two really good buddy cop films back in The Other Guys in 2010 and then Nice Guys in 2016. And it's just like, and then you compare those two to Heat, you're just like, you could have done so much more with this, didn't you? It's like, Bullock is great in pretty much anything she does, but it's just like, this was just like, you could have, like, Paul Feig, just get a better script, mate, please.
All right, touche.
Yeah, this is one I enjoyed more than I thought I was going to. Well, I do agree it really could have been better. Like, there was definitely moments in which I think could have been well written, but it's actually one that I kind of wish it did good enough to get a sequel, because I'd love to see a franchise with both Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock as the buddy cop duo, because they were an interesting pairing. But I'm going to say yes to The Heat anyway. And Tony, what is your next one you're going to bring up?
All right, I'm gonna go for one where she's a bit more of a cameo, but even though that she has less of a role in it, I still think it's probably my favorite Judd Apatow film of all time. So I have to say it. I adore This Is 40. I think it's one his finest. Judd Apatow's finest hour. I think it's wonderfully crafted as script. Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann are fantastic as a couple together. It really works well, and everything. Obviously, it's the two kids in that are Judd's and Leslie Mann's own children, so they work really well together. And it's just everything about it just works so perfectly, and it's just like it never gets talked about because it's tag along and knocked up. It's not the big tentpole of Judd Apatow's work, but it's just everything about it works so perfectly, and it's probably one of. And I low key think Megan Fox is a good actress, and she's fantastic in this film.
Yeah, This Is 40 is a great movie. This is one that I had thought I'd watched when it first came out, but apparently I'd never seen it before. But I've watched it since for this list. But yeah, I mean, like Melissa McCarthy's a small cameo in here, but like as I said at the start of the show, like I don't exclude cameos as long as she's credited in the movie. Then it counts. But This Is 40 is an easy yes for me. Anthony, what would you have said?
I did also have this on my list. I do enjoy This Is 40. It's one of the only taglines I actually know, which is the sort of sequel to Knocked Up. It's the only time I'll ever get a tagline question right. But it's a lot of fun. And like Tony said, Megan Fox is good as long as you don't put her with Michael Bay. She can act. She does a lot of good stuff. And the movie's great. It really is a lot of people almost – it feels like 90% of the movie is just them just ad-libbing, living life. Like basically like, hey, if we were actually married, how would we talk? If these were our kids, how would we talk to them? And that's what makes it feel more real. So I liked it. And it should be on the list as even a cameo, but it's worth it to be on there.
I do kind of now realize after you said that it is the Apatows just playing out their life and just like, I'm just being like, I'm just going to get someone more attractive to play me in this.
Pretty much. I think that's what happened. I think a guy that doesn't age.
It's kind of weird. So I listened to Fake Doctor's Real Friends, the Scrubs podcast with Zac Efron and Donna Faison, and they keep bringing up Bill Lawrence on it. And a thing that they keep mocking Bill Lawrence about is that his wife, Krista Miller, plays Jordan, and she makes out a lot on screen with a lot of men. So the joke is, oh, you just like making your wife make out with other people for your pleasure. It's just like I just realized now, This Is 40, he's just getting Paul Rudd to make out with his wife on camera for him. Can I really rescind my choice? And I realized there's a dark side to the Apatow family.
It's creepy mad.
No, but anyway, it's on to me, and I'm going to bring up one that I was surprised about how much I enjoyed this. It's got Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy steals his identity. It's Identity Thief. This is one of those interesting ones that I really enjoy because as the movie starts, like she's stolen his identity. How can he get along with it? He ends up being like on a road trip with when she's playing, doing these obnoxious sing-alongs in the car. But it's one of those ones that I really enjoyed the way the story read because to see him get along with someone actually become friends with by the end of the movie. But this is just a fun movie to watch. I really do enjoy this. Anthony, what do you say about Identity Thief?
I feel like this is one. It is on my list. It's a little lower on my list, but it is a fun movie. I think the first time I watched it, I was kind of iffy about it because I was like, all right, this is a lot of slapstick, a ridiculous amount of slapstick of Melissa McCarthy just running around getting hit by things. And it kind of took me off of it at first because I think I just watched this after, like The Heat, after watching Spy. I was like, oh, let me watch this. Spy just came out. This must be good too. And it didn't do it for me at first. After watching it a couple more times, yeah, Jason Bateman is fantastic in it. I do like a lot of the crime elements and the two the actors' names, but they did a good job. And I appreciate it going a little further than just, oh yeah, she stole his identity, he's trying to get it back. There's more story to it. There's a little bit of heart to the story that comes in as well. So I would put it on the list. The first time I watched it, it wouldn't have made it, but after a couple rewatches and kind of getting another idea of it, I did enjoy it.
Tony, what would you have said about Identity Thief?
No.
Oh.
No. No, bad touch. Bad. No, I'm not a fan of it. I just don't think it's funny in the slightest. Like, I think it was a waste of Bateman and McCarthy. It's just everything about it, and it's also a waste of a director. The director Seth Gordon, who did King of Kong, the movie about the video game records, a documentary, also Freakonomics. So it's just like, so I went in with a lot of expectation, going just like, oh, it's Seth Gordon. He's really good in doing documentaries. It's gonna be quite like he's got Jason Bateman from Arrested Development. He does that mockumentary stuff really well. Like, this could be an actual really interesting fake story. And it's just like, okay. I was expecting The Office and got Identity Thief, and it was just like, no.
Understandable.
But we've got 3 spots left. Tony, what do you want to bring up?
Okay. What do I want to bring up? I'm just going from the list and just like, because I'm just trying to pick. I'm just not picking anything directed by a husband, because for whatever reason they don't work well together.
Why do I feel like I probably have 1 or 2 of those on my list somewhere?
All right, so I don't like Bill Murray as an actor. I don't think he's good when he's doing his comedy stuff. When he's being Bill Murray, the guy from Ghostbusters, when he's being the guy from Stripes, the 80s Bill Murray, I think he sucks. However, when he does more of his bit serious roles, I quite enjoy him. Like Lost in Translation, I think is a really good film, and Saint Vincent as well works really well. It's Naomi Watson and Crystal Dowd as well, directed by Theodore Meffley. Everything about just like it feels like it shouldn't work, because a lot of it just goes against what I normally like in film, but it just works really well, and like it's just a nice watch.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in so long. According to Letterboxd, I have seen it because because it's marked as watched. I was going to rewatch it, but it didn't. It wasn't available at my library until now, and now it's too late. But yeah, from what I remember, this is a great movie. This would have been. This is an easy yes for me. Anthony, what would you have said about Saint Vincent?
Yeah, this was my next one I was going to pick. I did really enjoy this movie. I think Bill Murray going full Bill Murray helps this movie a lot. He is able to do more of a kind of dramatic role, but still have that little bit of a sarcastic sense of humor, which works out really great in this. As the neighbors, they're both very good. I really enjoyed this movie. There's a lot of good heart, good comedy in it, so it's definitely one of the better ones on her list.
Yeah. But we've got 2 spots left. The next one I'm going to bring up might be a no from someone based on what he said earlier. It's going to be. I'm bringing up Life of the Party. This is one that I did enjoy a little bit. I enjoyed it enough that I was more surprised about it than anything. On a rewatch, this might go down, but this is one that I really did enjoy. And Melissa McCarthy is great in this, but I have no idea how this is going to go. But Anthony, what do you say about Life of the Party?
Just by looking at Tony's face, this might be the first one that just doesn't make it. Because I kind of watched it. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it like straight through. I kind of was watching it, and I was like, this is not great. And there's a couple moments of funny, but I feel like there's like 1 or 2 other movies that are just better. than this one that she still has on her list. I mean, not much, but better enough. So I would probably say no to this one.
Tony, what would you have said?
So Ben Falco is a quite interesting fellow. He's a good actor in his own right, and I've seen interviews with him and Melissa McCarthy, and they seem like a wonderful couple together. They should never fucking work together in their lives ever again. I swear to God, they just whatever reason they just do not work well when it's director actor partnership for the two of them. This film is terrible. This film is just going the Rodney Dangerfield back to school, just taking out Rodney Dangerfield, and then you're just left with a shit premise.
Hmm.
It's just like it is like Melissa McCarthy just was trying to do like Mike and Molly Melissa McCarthy, and it just didn't work. And it's just everything about that film just like no. Bad touch.
Anthony, what is the next one you're going to bring up?
All right, I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna go back to a cameo. She's in it for a little bit. It took me a minute to remember she was in it, but once I saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, she was." And this was a movie. I feel like it's a lot of hate, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it had an interesting twist at the end. It had a good premise, and I'm going with The Life of David Gale. Because I actually really enjoyed this movie. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's so pretentious," like, "Oh, that's a stupid ending. That's dumb." I appreciated how it was going against like the death penalty, how all these certain things were happening in this movie, and the kind of twist at the end of this movie was, I thought, impressive. I thought it was good. I liked the way it went down. A lot of the actors are very good in this movie. She has a small role as a goth kid. And, on a rewatch, I was, oh, yeah, that's Melissa McCarthy. I never would have thought it the first time I saw it. But it is a cameo role. It's a smaller one. It's not a blink and you miss it. But I really enjoyed this movie. I kind of wanted to try to get on the list because it was different from anything else that she does by a long shot. So I thought I'd give it a shot.
Tony, what do you say about The Life of David Gale?
I've not seen it. The only thing I know about this film is that Roger Ebert gave it 0 stars, which is rare for him. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've also not seen it, and I don't know enough about this movie to go a yes without having seen it. So yeah,
I'll say you either really enjoy the ending or you think it's so absurd and terrible that you give it 0 stars. But when I saw it the first time,
yeah, I mean, if it pops up something to watch, I'm definitely going to watch it because I don't like leaving lists on Letterboxd unfinished. So
there you go.
There's this line I found from Ebert's about that last shot. The last shot made me want to throw something at the screen. Maybe Spacey and Al Parker director. So I'm guessing that the ending's a bit bad.
I don't know. It's wouldn't say it's bad. It just is. It really takes a turn. But I don't know if it's bad. It really just pushes the point of the movie to a finale. So
yeah. But Tony, what is the next one you're going to bring up?
All right. I'm going to go for another cameo because I think she does well in these roles where you see her for 3 minutes. And this is a film that I adore. I think that I think this film is the best use of the Rock and Kevin Hart combination in Central Intelligence. It's just like it takes everything and spins it on its head. It makes Kevin Hart the cooler one. It makes The Rock into a bit more of the bumbling oaf, and it's just like, and she appears in the film. I'm not going to say what because if you haven't seen the film, it may or may not ruin a part of it. But when she's in it, her scene is very memorable.
Yeah.
And it's directed by Russell Marshall Ferber, who's one of those directors that people don't really know his name, but they should because everything he's done is pretty decent. It's like he did Dodgeball with the Millers, Central Intelligence, Skyscraper. It's like he's not making instant classics, but he's doing good comedy stuff. And Skyscraper is a good. Here's Jane Johnson running around with one leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one that now I know I said before this that as long as she's credited, it counts. She's actually not credited in Central Intelligence, but I'm going to change my mind on that because I forgot she was in this. I actually do like Central Intelligence. I'm going to say yes. Anthony, what do you say about Central Intelligence?
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you changed it on this one. I do remember her in it. It was not like a super cameo, but I do remember it. And the movie itself is entertaining. It's fun. You know, those two obviously have a lot of good chemistry together. When you have someone who's 5'1" and someone who's 6'4" and a monster, you know, it's interesting. And the plot is what it is, but it provides a lot of fun. And even a small role at some point, this is better than some of the roles that she's in the whole movie for. So this would be good to have on the list.
Like the work of Falcone.
Your hatred is noticed.
I've noticed.
I'll have no chance with that one then. But
You're just about to say the boss.
I actually haven't seen the boss.
He was going Tammy.
That's even worse.
Well, I mean, it was the next one. There was.
Let me quickly say the boss is what happens if you get Devil Wears Prada, but you don't have a good writer. It's abysmal, and it's a waste of Kristen Bell.
I'm going for another small role. This is one that I didn't realize she was in until it popped up on her filmography list. I'm going for a Hangover Part 3. This is one of those ones that, once again, I don't know how this is going to go, because this it really isn't a good installment. But at this point, out of the ones I've seen, one I know's not going to get on, because one, I really don't like that movie itself, but and the other ones I don't really want on the list. But Anthony, what do you say about The Hangover Part 3?
All right, I was actually wondering what you're going to pick, because this was my next one. I know a lot of people hate this movie and people think it's terrible. I don't, because I watched this kind of like if I watch the Happy Time Murders again, I'm going to watch it because it is a good, dark comedy. It is not a straight up hangover movie. If you watch the first one, it is a different take on it. The second Hangover movie is a retread of the first. The third is definitely better than the second. You can't go in expecting another retread. You go in, if you look at it as a dark comedy, I find it as a much better movie. John Goodman's good in it. Melissa McCarthy in her small role is in an excessive role, and does it get very weird? Yes, I was uncomfortable for many moments during it. However, I enjoyed the movie. I thought she did have some good lines in it. And yeah, this was going to be my last one going in if I could make it.
Which means it is the last one that will make the list. Tony, what would you have said about The Hangover Part 3?
I've not seen it. I hated Hangover Part 2, so I never got around to Hangover Part 3.
Yeah, it is very different.
Also, I just now can't watch it because I just fucked Todd Phillips.
No. All right.
Fuck the Joker, and yeah.
Man, there's a lot of hatred for that.
I do.
I've heard a lot recently.
But with that being said, we've hit 12. With this one, people were like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to do that. She doesn't have 12 good movies." It's like, as I said, it's not only always about just good movies all the time.
Yeah, did you watch
about making a top 12. So,
yeah, you picked the top 12 garbage movies that we enjoy. None of those were good.
Well, that is true. But with that being said, it's time to put this into some order. And to do that, we're going to write down a movie we think should be at 12 on our whiteboard. And yeah. I didn't have any honorable mentions. Anthony, do you have any honorable mentions left?
Charlie's Angels? I mean, it was a very, very short cameo, but that was kind of like the one I had as like a potential last second. If just for something she's sort of in. But other than that, I mean, like there is the Tammy the Boss, which have moments of entertainment, but mostly are. I mean, Tammy's actually terrible. But the Boss, at least sometimes I found it funny because the kids could all kids at moments when the kids are beating each other up. I laugh because it's funny when the kids beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, Tony, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, so two that I had Johnny Mona. She had a small bit
man.
on that. This was like the Charlie's Angels time when she was still making a name for herself. Good watch. And then Life as We Know It is one that doesn't get enough attention. But I think it's just because it's Kevin Heigl, and it was just after that time period where she blew up her own career. I think, but it's a really good watch, and it's like it's a if you like those like romantic films, just like, oh, there's a baby. It's like, look at the baby. It's a good film.
But with that
Baby.
being, but with that being said, Anthony, what do you have for 12?
Oh, hold on. I wrote the wrong one because I forgot one was on here. I'm just gonna say it. It was Identity Thief.
Tony, what do you have for 12?
The shit film, Identity Thief.
I actually went for Central Intelligence, but that only because it was only a small role for her. But
It's certainly a memorable role for her.
oh yeah. I wasn't trying to say it wasn't memorable.
No, as in she's gonna remember it for the rest of her life.
Yep. Oh, sure, remember that. All right. I have my first few, I think, planned out. Okay.
All right.
I like top 3 are going to be tough.
Tony, what do you have for 11?
For 11, I will go Hangover Part 3.
I'm sticking with Central Intelligence. Anthony?
Happy Time Murders.
And we're in a tie. Normally I'll go to the chat, but the chat's been really quiet.
It's a little early for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've got a reel on my phone.
Oh, wheeling it up just to get rid of something. I like this.
I say go Central Intelligence because you've done it now twice in a row.
I mean, I'm okay with it because that was actually going to be my next one. So I'm cool with that because it was a small cameo. So that works for me.
Yeah.
So what one was it? Sorry,
Central
Intelligence.
Yeah,
that works. That
works too.
So I bet you know what I have on mine now.
Yeah. Like change.
I mean, normally I erase it and then write the same thing again because that's just for some reason I always do that. But this time I got a more idea.
Yes.
I'm not like Malcolm who just leaves Tropic Thunder up for like 15 rounds in a row. It's just annoying me. I'm still upset about that.
Oh, you're upset about Tropic Thunder. Oh no.
Oh, do you have a story or something?
No.
I bet not.
I only cry myself to sleep sometimes.
What were we talking about Tropic Thunder? Melissa McCarthy wasn't in Tropic Thunder.
She would be great in it, though.
Yeah.
Just to say.
I would love to see it directed by Ben Stiller. I think that would be a really interesting partnership.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Anthony, what do you have for 10?
I did stick with the Happy Time Murders.
Tony?
I'll go with Happy Time Murders. Why not?
Funny enough, I actually read Hangover Part 3.
Damn it!
Yes! That's right, don't get rid of it. Not yet. Oh, damn it. All right, fine.
To be honest, I'm kind of glad Hangover Part 3 isn't below Happy Time Murders.
That would be a tough one to swallow.
Tony, what do you have for 9?
Hangover Part fucking 3.
You haven't seen it. Don't judge until you see it.
Hangover Part 3. Anthony.
Yeah, I also do have the Hangover Part 3 though.
I'm now judging it.
Okay, fine.
No, you shouldn't judge a book before it's covered, but fuck it. I'm a terrible person.
But you can judge a movie before the DVD case.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. What am I doing next? I don't like a lot of these. Okay.
All right,
I'm actually impressed. Like, I'm already kind of looking at these like, huh, there's some good ones in the top,
Yeah.
top 8.
Yeah. Anthony, what do you have for 8?
I enjoy this movie, but it's not as good as the rest, the 9s.
Tony.
The 9s made the. Oh, yes, it did. I didn't even notice that.
Alan's changing his answer.
I thought you just completely forgot what my name was there for a second.
That's what I thought too.
No, Tony.
I went for the 9s as well. It's a fine film, but it's like this. The rest of them are better.
Yeah. I didn't have that. But I probably would have gone the 9s anyway because I haven't seen it and I just completely forgot it made the list.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, you don't even remember it happened. All right.
But anyway, for 7, I've got Saint Vincent. Anthony.
Just due to the fact it's only a cameo role, I went this as 40.
And
I went
Tony.
with The Heat. I say put the cameo lower.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of cameos now, so we can't play that game anymore.
Damn it.
Oh, which one do I like more? That's tough.
We're on to 6.
Mhm.
Tony, what do you have for 6?
I'm gonna stick with it. The Heat.
I went Saint Vincent. Anthony.
Bring out that wheel, because I went Ghostbusters. Yeah, that's a tough choice here because all these are like good, right middle of the realm. Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, like in my head, I've got Saint Vincent at 4, and then Ghostbusters. Actually, to be fair, it's like Saint Vincent, Ghostbusters, The Heat. So
yeah, they're all. That's pretty much where I'm going here. I'll be happy with any of them.
Yeah. I'm just happy that no Ben Falcone got on the list.
Which ones did he do? Tammy, Life of the Party,
Life of the Party, The Boss, and the 2 more recent ones, Super Intelligent, and the one that came out on Netflix today.
Thunder Force.
Octavia Spencer.
That was great.
Ghostbusters.
Who are you gonna call?
Not them anymore.
I'm just gonna hold it here. I'm not even gonna bother.
All right.
I've been Saint Vincent.
I had to keep St. Vincent for one more. I went the Heat. I've seen the Heat more, but St. Vincent, I feel like she did a better job.
Yeah.
I wonder what we're doing now.
I know. How do you spell Bridesmaids again?
Yeah, good try.
But just to recap what we've got left, we've got Spy, Bridesmaids, Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Saint Vincent. Anthony, what do you have for 4?
St. Vincent for this one.
Tony.
The Happy Time Murders.
It's Saint Vincent.
Trying really hard to keep that around, aren't you?
Yep. I was trying to see if I could sneak it back into the list just to annoy people.
People have tried that before and failed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if Happy Time Murders just happened to be one that we just completely forgot was on the list and it made it to number 2 because of that?
Yeah.
2 of us forgot, and Tony's just sitting there like, I'm not putting it on here, so we're going to keep going.
I like Puppets Having Sex.
So, Team America fan?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Tony, what do you have for 3?
I've gone with Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I went with Spy. Anthony?
That hurt. I also went with Can You Ever Forgive Me. Mainly, haven't seen it. It's probably great, but
yeah. Also, it's like if you do Melissa McCarthy, like she's good for the serious stuff, but you don't really go for Melissa McCarthy for her serious stuff. You want the comedy stuff. You want her being big, bold, and bodacious.
But now instead of putting the number 2 on, we're going to go straight to number 1 because the other becomes number 2 by default. And Anthony, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is because Jason Statham is still driving that boat around a lake. It's Spy.
Tony.
My number 1 of the best comedies of the 21st century, Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
Understandable.
It was very much between a mix of like 1A, 1B. Like they are the pinnacles of her career at this point.
Yeah.
I guess Spy is a better film for Melissa McCarthy in the fact that she's the lead and it's more her story, whereas
Bridesmaids is just good.
Yeah, Bridesmaids
It's really good.
But just to recap the list, at 12 we've got Identity Thief. At 11 we've got Central Intelligence. At 10 we've got The Happy Time Murders. At 9 we've got Hangover Part 3. At 8 we've got The Nines.
Damn it, we missed a trip.
At 7 we've got
Nines at
This Is 40. At 6 we've got Ghostbusters. At 5 we've got The Heat. At 4 we've got St. Vincent. At 3 we've got Can You Ever Forgive Me? At number 2 we got Spy. And number 1 we got Bridesmaids. But with that being said, this was a fun episode. Just in an hour, which is not a rarity. But with that being said,
we can go get Aaron to do this another 2 hours. I'm sure he has a ton of thoughts.
Oh my god, no.
No, knowing Aaron, the kitchen might come up, and I really don't want it.
Honestly, it was on my list as like a low contender.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's one of those ones where she's horribly miscasting it, and the film doesn't really work. But it's one of those ones where it's like give it 10 years and give someone give it a reboot and remake, and it'll probably work.
Yeah. But with that being said, I'll have a new poll up today for next week's episode, which will be back on the normal day. Anthony, where can people find you online when you're not being hidden by a cat?
Yeah, like I don't know what's up with Clint right now. You can find me pretty much anywhere. I'm all around the fan leagues. I don't have to do my normal plugs because Tony's here. So, but I will plug Open Night Trivia League, where you can find me, help host, help do all the stuff, and with my own show, Working Title, which Tony was on recently, basically coming on to just pitch a movie based on guidelines I give you. Requires no movie knowledge other than realizing that they exist and trying to pitch one yourself. But other than that, you'll see me all around, and you'll probably see my wife on some Schmodown stuff on occasion as Christy V.
Tony, where can people find you online?
I have no online presence.
God.
No, Feature Bread Stage Productions, best way to find us is plethora of shows. Every Wednesday, Fancy Film Fights by Peg Gubbins, where we take a random film topic in drastic fancy style. This Wednesday, last Wednesday, I should say, we did book adaptations, which was featured Chance Ellison. And this week coming up is going to be the year 1997. We also have discussion shows like Enough Bill Cariola, where he gets a D-movie or a forgotten gem from the past and introduce it to a new person. Or that Major List, Dave Goodyear, the grandfather of all these shows, where he gets a random film nerd and talks about their favorite films for 2 hours. Really fantastic show. You should watch it. And the FPT, and I haven't officially decided what the name's going to be because I don't want to fucking call it a league anymore. I hate the word league now. But what was FPTL, the remnants of that, is going to rise like Phoenix at the end of the month. More information coming out soon.
But yeah, you can find me on Tape 3 Productions, where I host Rackham every Saturday night. Late Night is coming back not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. So mark that in your calendars. I also I host both of those. And you can also find me at Full Metal Trivia, where I host Full Metal Classic, which is on Sundays. And you can also find and Full Metal Random, and this week I am going to be competing in a Blackadder match against Joe Farrelly and Kevin Poss. But with that being said, this is the end. Until next time, keep listing shit.